this Wednesday morning, June 25th. Thanks for joining us on ARC Rochester. I'm Abi Fridmann.
And I'm Dan Schrack. We have a full 2 hours to get through, so let's run down what we have brewing for you this morning.
All right, so we're checking in on some news that is out of this world. We'll be joined by our NASA correspondent, Tony Rice, for this morning's Space News. We'll be talking more about last week's solstice and some sunsets. Do you think he's going to make fun of me this time?
He did not make fun of you. He just told you to use context clues.
I know. It still hurt my feelings, Tony Rice. We've got some problems.
Listen, we've got time, so we can discuss a way to get back at him.
Sure. Sounds
During
good to
that
me.
segment.
Great.
McLean, start thinking. Then we're getting our bodies moving with the help of movement and music instructor Anita Spoor. Now that summer vacation is here, she's going to be walking us through some ways that grandparents can get active with their grandkids. I love this, and I love Anita. She's phenomenal.
She is, yeah, an icon and a legend.
She is.
And then coming up, we're taking a closer look at one cosmetic surgery that's raising eyebrows and heads, too. We're going to talk about it coming up in today's Trending Now.
Boy, I'm excited. But before all of that, we do want to get a check of some of our top local headlines. Stephannie Joseph now with your Wednesday morning news break.
Well, good morning there, guys. We do begin with primary election results. They're in, and Rochester Mayor Malik Evans is claiming victory in the Democratic primary for Rochester Mayor. Now, the incumbent held on to a lead last night over two challengers, City Council member Mary Lupian and businessman Shashi Sinha. He next moves on to face Conservative Party candidate Luis Sabo in November's general election. We expect to hear from Mayor Evans later this morning, and we'll have more on 13WHAM News and 13WHAM.com. An upset in Ontario County. Unofficial results are in from the Republican primary for district attorney. Incumbent DA Jim Ritz coming up short by 115 votes to Jason McBride. Ritz says it's too early to concede. Rochester police are looking for suspects in 3 overnight stabbings. A 35-year-old woman was stabbed multiple times in the upper body just after 10:30 on Hudson Avenue. And around midnight, 2 people, a 67-year-old man and a 50-year-old woman, were stabbed on Jefferson Avenue. All 3 are expected to survive. Repairs are finally set to begin on the Gillette Bridge in Ogden. Town officials announcing that the bridge repairs will be paid for by CSX. The more than 18-month closure has caused significant traffic delays, impacting emergency response times in that area. Work is expected to last 6 to 8 weeks. A quick note for East High School families today. The school will be closed due to ongoing power outages. Students that were scheduled to take the Algebra Regents test will be bused to School 33 and brought back to East after the exam. The lower school will be closed as well. For all these top stories and any updates, be sure to visit 13wham.com. Back to you.
All right, Steph, thank you. We'll switch gears now and get a look at our Wednesday forecast. A slight drop in those hot temperatures, but still very, very summer-like.
Yeah, still a bit above average out there today. Meteorologist Marty Snyder joining us now with a look at that. I guess you could call it a break, but it's not really a break. It's just less intense.
Very true. Yeah, it's all relative. And relative to what we have been seeing, yeah, it is going to be a little drop back in temperatures. But with some of that hazy sunshine that'll work in, we're still going to see numbers move along pretty well. And even just during the last hour, saw a nice increase in temperatures up to 77 already. You have to keep in mind the average high is about 80. So only a few degrees to get added to that to put us up to average. And we're going to exceed that number. Dew point, that's on its way down. It was a little higher into the 60s earlier this morning. That has started that downward trend, and that will continue today. So the net effect during the afternoon is going to be a slightly lower high temperature, and even the humidity is going to pull back a little bit as we head deeper into the day. So we have a couple little minor factors coming together to make today feel not quite as hot as where we have been recently. And I think even tomorrow we see numbers pull back just a little bit more, down to about 76 then. And in longer term, those numbers do rise back into the 80s and turning a little more summer-like for the longer term, probably some upper 80s by early next week, likely a little below what we have been seeing over some recent days, but still a lot more summer-like weather in store for us as we head through the next week or so. A couple little minor changes here and there, but in general, we do warm things up again into next week.
Zero complaints.
Yeah, Listen, we paid for this, and we were tortured. It was waterboarding by winter, and here we are now. and we deserve every bit of this heat and humidity, Marty.
Yeah, it's going to be up there. And the nice thing is I think we're going to reach that nice medium area where the humidity is going to be down a little bit, temperature is going to be down, but probably in an area that I think more people are going to like versus what just some of us have liked over some of the recent days.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right, we'll go off the top now and start with some things that have piqued our interest this morning. I will start off today. So yesterday we talked about the importance of calling and asking for help if you need it, right? It can help you get out of a dangerous or uncomfortable situation if you pick up the phone and give someone a call. Specifically, yesterday we talked about the charges a man is facing after he got stuck in a chimney while trying to rescue his dog from a locked park bathroom. If you didn't see the story, you really missed out, clearly. He got himself in a significant amount of trouble and got a bill for thousands of dollars in repairs. It all could have been avoided if he just reached out to park rangers. So now, today, a Florida boater took that call for help message a little too seriously and is also facing charges. Here's what happened. He called first responders and said that his airboat was in an accident. He needed help, but couldn't remember anything about what actually happened. All he knew is that he got into a wreck. So when crews got to the distressed boat call, the fire rescue, marine unit, and other agencies rushed out to reach him. This is video from that rescue. But some of the responders struggled to get to his location. You can see kind of what it is that they're working with here. They are driving that vessel through a marsh. They're digging through some of the muck and the mud. Their boat even getting stuck for a little while. They had to dig through to get it all out. So the caller reportedly told authorities he flipped his vessel, was injured, and his passenger was hurt and missing. But one of the first responders finally reached him after making that trek out to get him, and they found out there was no crash, there was no missing passenger, and no one was actually hurt. It turns out this guy, Derek Howard, simply ran out of gas and made up the story to get some help quickly. This is all according to authorities. There he is. Authorities ended up getting in contact with his friends who fessed up. They say he ran out of gas. However, he claims he remembers nothing about the incident.
Something tells me there might have been some alcohol.
There might have been some alcohol involved. But the moral of the story is, don't be rude. Don't be rude. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're wasting resources.
You're wasting resources. And when you waste those resources and the state decides that you wasted those resources, you are then stuck with that bill.
Yeah. And here's the thing, too. I mean, I think probably if he had called somebody like, 911 or whatever and said, hey, I'm out here, I ran out of gas. It's not an emergency, but if you could help me get in contact with somebody for the non-emergent line or whatever it is, they probably could have figured it out with him.
Or said, I'm afraid of alligators and I think they might be out here. They probably would have come and said, okay, we understand it.
Yeah, accidents happen.
Yeah.
But that's insane. If you think about all the people involved, you're out there, you're having your day at work, whatever. You get your boat stuck in the mud, all while you're like frantically trying to get to this place, thinking
the worst about this missing and injured passenger.
Yes, and this other guy who's calling for help frantically. You get there, and it's all just a...
Charge him.
He is facing charges. But how wild is that?
It's crazy.
Classic story out of Florida right there. All the way down to the marsh and the swamp.
Any story that starts with a Florida man or a Florida woman, you know is going to be a doozy.
It's going to be awesome. Usually, when I'm looking for these stories, I usually go right to...
Do you just type that into Google and see what story pops up first?
I should start doing that. No, I'll scroll a little bit, but then if I'm like really coming up short, I'll be like, check out what's going on down in Miami.
Things happen down there. They certainly do.
Yep.
All right, let's move along to my story. For my off the top, you know those little free libraries that are in front yards and parks? Well, now there's a new version so smile-worthy, it could only start with our four-legged friends. In Stockton Springs, Maine, a public works crew unveiled Sandy Point Beach's first dog library.
Look at
You
that.
don't need a checkout card for anything. There are no late fees because the library is just filled with tennis balls and sticks.
This
I
is
love this
amazing.
idea. So the idea came from the Public Works Director, George Russell, who knew a resident tennis player with an overabundance of tennis balls in a community that loves their dogs. The idea, I guess, spread like wildfire on Facebook. One dog owner says her pup, Izzy, is in heaven with a ball while playing in the sand. But this community is not alone. This dog library idea is popping up all over, from the beaches of South Carolina all the way to New Zealand. Dog stick libraries are sprouting up wherever pups play fetch. They have become so popular. If you want one at home, all you have to do is Google dog stick library. You'll actually find small businesses out there that make these things, like Tito's dog stick library. I priced them out. They're like $400.
Okay.
You can make them, though. You can make this at home. And when supplies get low, listen, Public Works, they just restock it with balls and more. You see them there. Fresh sticks to chew on and to fetch. The best part about this, though, is that it brings people together. Dog owners get to bond while their pups play together. Normally, little free libraries have been about the community and sharing and surprises on nice walks. Now there are literal branches for dogs. So whether you're a dog lover or just a fan of joy, this story, I think, is where it's at. Because how can you not smile when you see those dogs?
It's so true.
Sniffing around the library. Which stick am I checking out today?
Yeah. I love it. My mom has one of those little libraries.
Does she?
Yeah. So
with books?
Yeah. So,
okay.
Well, okay, yeah. So my parents, they live like way off in the deep mountains of Tennessee. And they get a lot of walkers and hikers in their neighborhoods and stuff like that. And my mom set up a little library. And people have been really nice about coming and like taking a book, leaving a book, you know, that whole thing. Except my mom around Christmas time left a little dish of candy in there too. Like, oh, help yourself to a little. Somebody just took the whole thing.
The dish included?
Yes, the dish included. How wild is that? I mean, you know, it is what it is, whatever.
I mean,
you know, she was laughing about it. She wasn't deeply upset. It's just so funny, right?
But all the same, like, it's obvious when there's a dish of candy, you're not supposed to take the entire thing, no matter where it is.
Common sense.
The dentist's office or a little free library.
Yeah.
You don't go to the little free library and take all of the books.
This was not anything to make you upset. I was just sharing a little anecdote.
And
the dog library is
somehow
amazing.
has.
Let's stay happy. Let's stay cheerful. Everything's great.
Can we just look at that video one more time? I just
Yeah.
want to see those dogs checking
Yeah.
out the sticks, checking out those tennis balls. They absolutely love
had a
this.
pickleball in there too.
They did have a pickleball in there. Look at this.
Appropriately
I mean,
named after the
how
dog.
much fun would this be?
Super fun.
To be walking along with your dog.
Yeah,
you know?
especially if you lived near a beach or a park or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Aw, it's the perfect little library.
Yeah, that was good,
Good play
Ashley.
on words, Ashley. I like it.
That sounded awful.
Yeah.
Try it again. Oh.
No, it's the
It's
mic.
the-
It
it's the
just
mic.
it sounded.
Thank you.
There we go. Hey, stick around. We've got a lot more to come right here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back. We are checking in with Chris Lopez, who's meeting some new furry friends this Wednesday morning.
Don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live right now on the 13WAM YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. We're back after this.
Here in Monroe County, we are lucky to have so many groups that help rescue stray animals, one of which is a group in Greece called GRASP.
Yeah, they've been helping dogs and cats for nearly 30 years with the help of fundraisers and very generous people in our community.
Chris Lopez.
Do you want to say it together? Sorry.
Yes. Chris Lopez is live this morning.
Learning how people can help out with the mission. He's outside the studios. Chris, why don't you bring those animals in here? My goodness.
I guess they're nice and relaxed out here. I have Delia here that's been sleeping throughout the morning. She's all relaxed. Then Watson begging for everyone's attention. But other than that, he's all good to go. I'm also with Michael. I'm also with Jess from GRASP. Volunteerism, though, for you guys, big thing. You guys operate a lot on volunteers coming to you guys to help out. But what started your journey with GRASP?
So this little guy over here is Watson. He's my dog. He was found roaming the streets of Greece. He was overgrown, he was underweight, and animal control picked him up, and he did his requisite time in lockup, and they reach out to rescue groups when that happens, and GRASP took him in and adopted him to me. If they hadn't done that, he would have been euthanized.
And there's many ways to help you guys volunteer, right? Can you explain the different ways people can go about it? Because it's not just one way coming to help you guys out, for instance, on the garage sale tomorrow.
Yeah, we're 100% volunteer. There's no one who's even reimbursed, let alone paid, in our organization. We need volunteers to do all sorts of things. One of them is to work at our garage sale tomorrow to raise money to care for the animals. But we also need we need lots of people who are fosters. I'm a foster, she's a foster. We can only take in as many animals, and we can only save as many animals as we have fosters for.
And can you guys speak about how important it is for people to foster? Some people are like, well, I want to help out, but I just really can't adopt at all. And fostering is pretty much the second best, right?
Absolutely. So, I mean, fostering is invaluable to the person who fosters as well as the animals. Like Michael said, we don't have a facility where these animals can be held. Also, we want them to know the love of having a family. We can get a really good sense of who that animal is by having them in a foster home. So some of our fosters, they rent, or they don't know where they're going to be in a year. So they're not quite ready to adopt an animal, but they have a year to give. So in that time, they can foster, who knows, 12 animals and help those animals on their journey to find their forever home. So it really is an invaluable thing. And as a foster parent, you get a lot out of it too. Knowing that you made a difference in the lives of 1 to 100 or more.
And I know you guys hate the term, but I actually just learned about it. Failed foster. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. Can someone explain that to me, or just rearrange that term if you would like to?
I kind of hate the term, but it's a funny term. Foster fail. It means that when you are fostering an animal, you're supposed to be learning about it, giving it a safe space so that it can be sent into an adoptive home, but you fall madly in love, they're perfect for your home, and we call it a foster fail. That's actually, I think it's a foster success.
And then tomorrow, you guys, the garage sale, where can people go to? How can people help out?
Yeah, so the details are on our website, graspinc.org, but it's also at 40 Heather Lane in Greece. Okay. And we're there from 9 to 4 tomorrow. Tomorrow's looking like the best day. We're going to have good weather. And we need to raise money so that we can adopt these animals. So 40 Heather Lane in Greece.
And it's a real garage sale. I thought that was like just the title of the actual fundraiser. Nope, you guys, it's a full-on garage sale. If people want to show up and buy stuff, what can they expect?
It's not just a garage sale, it's a ginormous garage sale. And it's part of an entire neighborhood. There's going to be many streets that are involved. So we're piggybacking on top of that success. But there's anything that you would normally find at a garage sale, we're going to be selling there, and all the proceeds are going to go to animals like Delia.
And then there's kitten shower happening on Saturday. Can you break that down a little bit for us, Jess?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the Gates Public Library this Saturday from 11 to 1, there will be adoptable kittens as well as a small group of our volunteers there. So we'll be collecting, it's just like a baby shower for a human, right? Collecting all the supplies that we need to be able to keep taking care of all of these kittens. So anything from kitten food, formula, to beds or playpens or non-clumping kitty litter, small litter boxes, things like that. Any sort of supplies that we can use to help take care of all of our kittens. There will be some kittens that are ready to be adopted. So if you have an application on file with us already approved, you can take home a kitten that day. And that can be found on our website as well, the application.
And then we'll have information on our website too, on Fox Rochester, as well as 13 Wham. Watson, I feel like you have something to say. Do you want to send it back to studio?
That's
loud enough. It's loud enough. I don't know if you heard
cute.
that, but that's back to you, Dan and Abby.
Very cute.
So sweet.
What's the puppy's name one more time, Chris?
This is Watson here. This is prim and proper Watson. If you're not petting him, he's going to get angry. He feels like he's got to say something. Oh, there we go. Yep.
He's saying, I want to get down, is what I want. Get that microphone out of my face.
And I'm ready for breakfast.
Yes,
Let's get it going.
absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Hey, when we come back, a lot more to get to, including weather trivia.
Yeah, Mark McLean will join us coming up after the break.
Is joining us now with a look at today's slightly cooler temperatures. Everything's relative, right? It's still very summer-like.
It's funny what you get used to after a while, right?
Yeah.
Especially this time of the year, you know, the temperature can sway back and forth, you know, 10, 20 degrees in a day. But I guess the theme lately has been 90-degree warmth, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was
3 days of it.
3 days in a row. So let's talk about that for our weather trivia and keep with that 90-degree theme. That we officially had 3 straight days in the 90s. But what is the latest date that Rochester has ever experienced 90-degree warmth in the year?
Ooh.
The choices are September 20th, September 29th, October 1st, and October 5th.
Got it.
Dang.
You know this.
I do.
You absolutely know this.
I do, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, feeling pretty good.
Even without clues?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or
I mean, I'll take a clue if you're offering.
I'm going to tell you why.
because I've probably already said this on the air 20 times.
We went over this question/answer in conversation, I don't know, 3 months ago.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
did.
sure it came out in a conversation weather-wise.
How do you remember something that happened 3 months ago? I don't even remember yesterday.
Well, neither do I, but don't you have like stupid things that just take up space in your brain for no reason?
Yeah, it's
Weather
usually-
memory's short too. Like I can't, people can't remember what happened a week ago, but if it was a historic or significant weather event, everybody remembers it. If they remember the ice storm, they remember the superstorm, they remember, all that stuff, but what happened or what you had for dinner last week. Who knows, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes in weather. But yeah, it's still going to be warm out there. You're still going to get your pool weather. It's still going to be in the 80s today. We had 3 straight days. Yesterday, that says today, it should say yesterday, 93 degrees. So last summer we actually had 8 days in the 90s. So that's pretty good. And it's been a warm streak lately. Watch the bar graph. A lot of these bars have gone up lately. And June was running cool. Mid-month, we had a couple of cool days in there. I was starting to get questions of, is this what the summer is going to be like? Folks wanted to know. It was a cool and wet May in Western New York. And things have really turned around. So we're about 2.1 degrees above normal now for the month of June. 77 now and feels like 79. The dew point temperature has come down a little bit from where it was yesterday, although that temperature is still pretty close to where we were yesterday morning at this point. And we're watching areas west. There are a couple of showers showing up there trying to pop up. We think a lot of this is going to sink south and fade as it tries to move into western New York. So we do think most areas will stay dry for today. But there is a front really just stalled right on top of us. And with that around the next few days, there is going to be a shower chance back in the forecast. So, go through the afternoon. Some spots south of Rochester may see just the slightest chance of a shower. Overnight tonight, the clouds come back in, and we'll have to watch that. You saw some showers move by for Thursday morning. The afternoon dries out. And then for Friday, I think the coverage of showers starts to get a little bit more widespread as a warm front moves back across the area. So something to consider there. But, yesterday we were talking about, 93, 94? At that 2 o'clock hour on the pool forecast and the 4 o'clock hour. And boy, it was hot. The breeze out there, it was just a hot day. 6 o'clock, 82 will drop back through the 70s this evening. And overnight tonight, we're going to drop back. It's still a warm night. We'll see temperatures in the low 60s. The 7-day forecast has 76 for Thursday, 82 for Friday, 82 for Saturday. There is a rain chance heading into the weekend, but it's not a washout. Lots of weddings, lots of graduations this time of the year. Sundays at 86 and upper 80s for next week. You see Monday, Tuesday back into the tropical category, but not quite as hot as what we just experienced over the last 3 days.
Sunday looks like the ideal day for that outdoor party.
Yeah, a little barbecue, right? Mm-hmm. It's great for outdoor plans. And if you want to get up to the beach, you want to cool off, sit by the pool, just chill out. It'll be nice.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure. Hey, I'm going to need you to do me a favor.
Yeah.
Tonight, I need you, or this afternoon, I need you to walk past my house and take a look at my new hydrangea that's out front.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me what's wrong with it. It's not the planter one. That one is long dead by now.
Yeah,
There's
that was
a new
floral.
one.
So that was a floral hydrangea.
This is an actual, real life
hydrangea.
Goes in the ground.
What's it doing? It's wilting?
Yeah, it was doing great, and we did the fertilizer and we did all the stuff, and now its color is fading. It's looking depressed.
The flower color?
It was like bright pink.
Okay,
and
now it's going whitish.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it'll bloom again. We'll see. Yeah,
I'll
try to squeeze the walk in. I think I'm going to take a half day today. We'll see. Lots going on. Yeah, get out of here after the noon show.
Oh,
got too much going on.
Look at you.
Too much going on. It's summertime.
While we're on the topic of plants, though, quickly.
Yeah, sure.
When was it? Last month you brought in a bunch of elephant ears for us.
Yeah, how they doing?
The one you gave me died.
Nothing.
And nothing came of it.
Wow.
So I pulled it out of the dirt. I was using the same planter that I had elephant ears from last year in.
Okay.
Never removed any bulbs or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, wouldn't you know? Those ones, right back to life.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right back to life.
Yeah, they'll bounce back. They'll get huge. I think this is going to be a banner year. We're only a month into it, and I've already got one that has a leaf the size of my chest.
Really?
Yeah, it is literally, it's this big.
Wow.
Yeah, by that wide. I'll show you a picture. I'll take a picture of it tonight.
Yeah.
But it's huge. It's the size, half the size of the sliding glass door on our deck already. Yeah.
Believe it or not, it's the only thing I can keep alive. The elephant ears that you gave, I don't know. It's the only thing.
Yeah?
They're thriving.
Good.
We're going to have some fun out in the garden tomorrow. We will be in the garden tomorrow. The brand new.
The real garden.
The real deal.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Garden. You don't want to miss it.
Yep.
Hey, don't go anywhere. A lot more to come right here on ARC Rochester.
We're back after this.
Welcome back. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. We want to take you behind this story this morning and continue to follow that ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran.
Yeah, President Donald Trump in the Netherlands today for the NATO summit as he monitors the status of that ceasefire between Israel and Iran.
Yeah, that ceasefire, though, did not start as planned early yesterday, but at this hour it does appear to be holding.
National correspondent Atra El-Nashar has more.
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Tuesday morning, a frustrated President Trump trying to hold together the delicate ceasefire plan between Israel and Iran that he announced Monday night.
I'm not happy that Israel's going out now. There was one rocket that I guess was fired overboard. It was after the time limit, and it missed its target. So I think they both violated it. I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back.
Both Israel and Iran say they stand ready to respond decisively should the other violate the ceasefire.
Are you confident that this might not happen again, say in a couple weeks?
Tired of it. I think they don't want it to happen again.
Equally important to the president is the damage done by U.S. strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites. Though it'll take more time to know the extent of the destruction, the president rejects any suggestion Iran's nuclear program was not entirely destroyed. But Iran's top nuclear official, Mohammad Eslami, tells state media there will be no hiatus in their nuclear program. He says preparations for recovery had already been anticipated, and our plan is to prevent any interruption in production or services. It's why one of President Trump's most vocal supporters in the Senate is not celebrating the ceasefire yet.
It will be a step backward if it leads to an ability of Iran to rearm and retool. And the head atomic scientist in Iran, the one who's still alive, said they're going right back to enrichment. So I'm not so sure we've solved the problem yet.
As the region looks ahead to what's next for Iran, President Trump is walking back this post of his from Sunday, seeming to encourage regime change.
Regime change takes chaos, and ideally we don't want to see so much chaos, so we'll see how it does.
The White House in wait-and-see mode, knowing anything could change at any moment. In Washington, I'm Atra El-Nashar reporting.
And I mean, it certainly has been a chaotic, 12, 13 days so far there overseas in the Middle East. And as we mentioned at the beginning of that story, this all started kind of on shaky ground with that ceasefire announcement, announcing that that deal had been reached. But then both sides, both Israeli defense and Iran, both accusing the other of, bombing before that ceasefire went into effect.
I think that is something that is popping up a lot with this whole situation going on right now. Israel's saying one thing, Iran is saying another. The United States is saying something completely different. Israel said it intercepted 2 missiles launched from Iran. Tehran denied that. It is, is it miscommunication? Is it deception? Those are the questions I think that a lot of people are wondering here. Or is it just confusion right now?
Yeah. I would lean to the side of let's just accuse the other at this point, because again, it's been chaos from the start. And one thing that was mentioned in that story that President Trump spoke on this morning was the total destruction of those nuclear sites. The president saying that, yes, those bunker buster bombs, those 30,000-pound bombs that were dropped over the weekend on 3 of Iran's nuclear sites did some serious damage. However, President Trump maintains they completely destroyed those sites. But the Pentagon this morning, sources inside the Pentagon are saying, things on the contrary, that is not the case, that it only really set Iran's nuclear plans back by about 2 months.
Yeah, definitely interesting. It will be, like I said, interesting to watch exactly what unfolds. We know Iran and Israel both said that they would respect the ceasefire as long as the other respects the ceasefire. But again, going back to this miscommunication, so to speak, who's to say that, something can't happen where then the ceasefire would be over and then the fighting would start once again.
Absolutely. Producer Ashley, I'm wondering if we can cue that sound about those nuclear sites from President Trump this morning, and then if we can just play back to back the J.D. Vance sound backing up what the president had to say.
And we believe all of the stuff is down there. We don't think they had nearly the time, because to get that out is a very difficult thing. It's not like moving a package or taking this carpet up and moving it. It's very difficult. It's very dangerous to do. We believe it's all down there. We had a tremendous victory, a tremendous hit, and because of that, I don't think they would have been down there, because they knew we were coming. When they know we're coming, they're not going to be down in that 30 stories underground. So. No, I think it was just a tremendous victory for everybody, including Iran.
For 60 days, he negotiated aggressively to encourage that Iranian regime to give up those weapons peacefully. And by the way, he was more than willing to accept a peaceful settlement to that problem. But again, this comes back to instincts. When the president realized that there was not going to be a peaceful settlement to that problem, he sent B-2 bombers and dropped 12 30,000-pound bombs on the worst facility and destroyed that program.
Now, that stuff that the president is talking about that was moved is the uranium needed to create those nuclear weapons. But again, there is contradicting information coming from the Pentagon today saying that's not the case, that these sites are not clear.
Yeah, and while we have that sound pulled up, Ashley, wondering if we could play the sound from Senator John Thune and Chuck Schumer talking about the impact that this has, the U.S. strikes specifically.
Do you agree with the assessment from President Trump that the key nuclear enrichment facilities in Iran have been completely and totally obliterated?
Well, I'm not sure I have, you might want to hear from Senator Cotton, who chairs the Intelligence Committee, an answer on the full extent. But we know for sure that their nuclear program was set back considerably, and that is a victory not only for that region, but for our country's national security interests.
If the press reporting about the impact of last weekend's strikes in Iran is true, and I cannot confirm them, then that might be the reason why the administration postponed our classified briefing today at the very last minute and deprived senators of their right to know what's happening. So I ask again, what is the administration hiding? It's time for answers.
And I mean, this whole Middle East controversy is kind of a shadow hanging over the NATO summit currently underway in the Netherlands. So I'm sure this is not the only time, as we heard just a couple of minutes ago from the president, I'm sure this is not the only time we're going to hear him speak on this while overseas.
Absolutely. More information to come today. Time right now is 8:41. Much more to come this morning on ARC Rochester. When we come back, we'll check in once again with Chris Lopez.
We're back on the other side of the break.
morning, we've been meeting some forever friends, and it has been a fantastic start to our Wednesday.
It certainly has. A group located in Greece brought some of those friends right here to ARC Rochester to talk all about their mission and events like the current garage sale fundraiser.
Chris Lopez is live this morning with Grasp Animal Shelter just outside the studios. Chris?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yes, I'm here with Michael this morning. I'm here with Jess. I'm here with Watson, and I'm here with Delia. Tomorrow, garage sale. What's going down?
That's right. Tomorrow is one of the biggest fundraisers of the year, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It is our garage sale. We are raising money to help these animals. Our adoption fees only cover about a third of what it costs to care for them, and the rest is done by fundraising. So tomorrow, 40 Heather Lane, or you can find the details on our Facebook page or our website.
More than just a garage sale, though. You guys got a little bit more, some entertainment going on.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff happening. We're grilling up some hot dogs with the tagline, "Save a cat, eat a dog." And the neighbors' grandkids are selling lemonade, and they're donating the proceeds to our animals.
What time is that?
Around 11 o'clock,
Around
lunchtime.
11 o'clock? Okay. And then you have the kitten shower happening at the Gates Library. Yep. What can people bring there? And then I believe you can adopt as well.
Yeah, so Gates Library from 11 to 1, we're having a kitten shower, so it's kind of like a baby shower. So any kitten supplies, kitten food, kitten formula, non-clumping litter, blankets, bottles, anything that a kitten might like, toys. We are doing a collection there, and then also there will be an assortment of kittens, some of whom are available for adoption that could be taken home on Saturday to any approved adopters. So we have an application on our website. You can fill that out if you are interested in adopting a kitten, and if you are pre-approved, you can come on Saturday and take your new family member home with you.
And you guys have an incredibly meticulous way of not only just adopting out pets, but fostering too. You could essentially turn and burn, bring one in, push one out the next day, but that's not how you go about it. How do you guys choose to do that, and really why do you guys do it?
So yeah, that's true. We're not cash and carry. We're foster based and 100% volunteer. Like Miss Delia here, she's doing well, but please no applications for her yet, because we're trying to get to know her personality. Yeah. And then once we get to know her, we will try to match her for the home that she will perfectly match for the rest of her life. So we're setting her and the family up for success.
Yeah, so you guys are sacrificing the short-term gains for the long-term success so the animal can stay in the home, and it's not really a foster failure like an actual one. Exactly. Where it just didn't work out there. Yes. Spay and neutering, though, pretty big thing. This is how you stop essentially a bunch of dogs and cats from being bored and then being unwanted, or just filling up a house where they can't take care of them. Why is that so important? I know it kind of speaks for itself, but can you give us a little bit of numbers here as to why it's important that people spay and neuter cats and dogs? Absolutely.
So being a rescue, we see all of the unhomed animals, whether it didn't work out because of finances or just a poor fit for the home or whatever it is. There's, millions of animals being euthanized every day in the United States every year. We are trying to reduce that number. So doing what we can to make a difference here in the Rochester area. All of our animals that we adopt out have been spayed or neutered as part of our policy, because we want to take care of all the animals that we have already, right? Not just here in Rochester, but in the country, in the world. There are so many that do not have homes, that do not have reliable food sources, that are out struggling, getting injured, etc. We want to reduce that. We want to take care of the animals that we have already without bringing, tons and tons more.
Yeah, tons more, and adding to the problem. Yeah. And if you guys are always looking for volunteers, though. Like if someone cannot adopt, they can't foster, they can help you guys in other ways, though. Absolutely. So one of the biggest needs we have is for people to help with fundraising. If they have ideas for different new fundraisers we could do to try and make money, also volunteering at events like the garage sale. So we're going to have a bunch of volunteers there, just unboxing things, setting things up, making sure everything has a price on it, talking to members of the public that stop by, getting the message out about what we do. Just one example, but
there's everything from maintaining the website to transporting an animal to a vet appointment, or picking up from here, bringing it to their foster home. All those types of things are absolutely invaluable to our organization.
Well, thank you guys for being here throughout the morning. If you're wondering why Watson has such luxurious hair, he is a receptionist at a hair salon. So if you want some hair tips, go ahead and contact Watson. Back to you in studio.
Yeah, I have to take some notes there from Watson.
Yeah, a nice permanent, if you will.
Ask if he has any advice for the humidity, because that's what I'm struggling with.
Yeah, what kind of product does Watson use out there, Chris? Oh, he says don't ask.
Only Louis Vuitton, he said. Only Louis Vuitton.
I don't think they make hair products.
Yeah, I don't.
But, I don't make Chris Lopez money, so
a double cleanse on the hair, triple condition on the conditioner, and then a couple masks throughout the week.
Oh, wow.
That checks out.
That's an avocado mask. All right. Thank you, Lopez. We appreciate it.
When we come back here on ARC Rochester, we are cracking open the cookbooks.
We're back right after this.
Like the great Macho Man says, time to snap into it. Today, we are making a treat that's perfect at barbecues for families, kids, with beers, without beers, whatever you want. And these are marinated conies, AKA snappy grillers, that we're using from our peeps at Hoffman's, the best ones around. They're called conies, or if you want to mispronounce them, you can call them coonies. But it's the white hot, AKA the snappy griller. And what we're gonna do though is we're gonna marinate it and put a little bit of a different twist on it. Cut it with some bacon, some great relish, and this is the type of thing that's just gonna change any barbecue up. Now, let's make the marinade. What you wanna do first is just get a Ziploc bag, and the day before your barbecue, you're gonna do this. You are going to take a ½ cup of olive oil and put it into a Ziploc bag. A ½ cup of soy sauce. A ½ cup of balsamic vinegar. This gives a nice little tart bite to just jump up in it. 2 tablespoons Worcestershire sauce. Then 4 smashed up cloves of garlic. 1 whole shallot. And then you are gonna put in a ½ cup of Dijon mustard. This really gives the dog itself a lot of bite, but we're gonna make it way more strong than that too, y'all. So once you've got that in your bag, zip it up a little bit, mix it together, set it aside for a minute. Now for the dogs, right? Dogs are already, you could eat these right now because they're already in good shape, they're already cooked. So what you wanna do though with a dog is to get good marinade in it and so it doesn't snap too much. What I want to do is take the top of it, right? Take a knife and put 3 half-inch cuts along the top. And then on the bottom, right, take your knife, lay it down so you don't stab yourself, and poke a bunch of little teeny holes. And what this does is it opens up the casing and lets all the marinade jump into the meat so you get as much flavor as possible. After you've done that with your dogs, put them into the marinade, then you're gonna let them sit overnight. Time to snap things up. So we got our split top bun, and our dog, if you look at it, we got some char on it, which is what we want. We want good char. So first, you're gonna put your dog in there, then a nice, beautiful piece of bacon, because why not, right? The bacon comes on here, and you have a little nest with the bacon in there. Next, what we like to use for this, to give it a little bit more pop, is we use Zatarain's because we love it. It's Creole mustard. You can use a spicy brown mustard, but this is like that, but way cooler and way more fun to chill with. From there, we are going to add what we made. You can find online our recipe for homemade dill pickle relish. So we can put that all along the side. And then we're gonna top it with some fresh white onions. Now, the thing about hot dogs, snappy grillers, conies, whatever, sausage even, when it's made in casing, they have what they refer to as the snap. And that's when you bite into it. You feel that kind of snap of the meat breaking. It's my favorite part, man, when I was on a golf course, celebrating one of my buddy's kids, at a wedding, whatever, man. Marinated hot dog, spatchcock funk, snap into it.
Much more to get to this morning on ARC Rochester as we continue into the 9 o'clock hour. Steph will be here breaking down some of our top political stories.
Yeah, she joins us now with a preview of what's ahead. Good morning, Steph.
Good morning there, guys. In today's Political Pulse, a post-primary day breakdown of results. Hear from Mayor Malik Evans after he claimed victory in the race for Rochester mayor. And the other local races we're keeping an eye on. Plus, the upset handed down to former Governor Andrew Cuomo in his bid for New York City mayor, who's expected to be the Democratic candidate on the ticket in November. That's all coming up in our 9 o'clock hour. ARC Rochester returns after this.
morning, June 25th. Thanks for sticking with us on Arc Rochester. I'm Abi Fridmann.
I'm Dan Schrack. That is meteorologist Mark McLean, and this is going to be the best hour of Arc Rochester you've ever experienced. Mark's forecast and the answer to weather trivia coming up in just a bit. First, we want to turn to Stephannie Joseph with your Wednesday morning Arc Rochester news break.
Here are some of the top local stories that we're following this Wednesday morning. Primary election results are in, and Rochester Mayor Malik Evans is claiming victory in the Democratic primary for Rochester Mayor. The incumbent held onto a lead last night over two challengers, City Council member Mary Lupian and businessman Shashi Sinha. He next moves on to face Conservative Party candidate Luis Sabo in November's general election. We expect to hear from Mayor Evans later this morning, and we'll have more on 13 WHAM News at midday and 13wham.com. An upset in Ontario County. Unofficial results are in from the Republican primary for District Attorney. Incumbent DA Jim Ritz coming up short by 115 votes to Jason McBride. Ritz says it's too early to concede. Rochester police are looking for suspects in 3 overnight stabbings. A 35-year-old woman was stabbed multiple times in the upper body just after 10:30 on Hudson Avenue. And around midnight, 2 people, a 67-year-old man and a 50-year-old woman, were stabbed on Jefferson Avenue. All 3 are expected to survive. For all these top stories and any updates, be sure to visit 13wham.com. Back to you.
All right, Steph, thank you. We got to talk about the forecast now. A little bit of relief from some of those extreme temperatures that we've had. But, you know, it's still beautiful. It's still very summer-like, Mark.
Yeah. I've been sweating through so many clothes. The pile of laundry is growing.
So a lot of laundry. A lot of laundry.
Lots of laundry. Yeah, the battle was lost the last couple of days of keeping the shirts dry. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
the forehead.
Yeah. Oh, the forehead. Yep. And then just out, you're trying to keep up with the watering and everything else outside. It's all the little things that just stack up. But the trivia today is about 90-degree warmth. We've been talking about this as a topic the last few days, and today's keeping with that theme. What is the latest day in the year that Rochester has experienced 90-degree warmth? And I think the answer to this is going to be pretty interesting to you. September 20th, September 29th, October 1st, or October 5th.
October 5th, Alex.
Had a couple of guesses. I posted this a little bit late, so that's why we don't have as many responses.
Pathetic results.
Remember earlier when you were like, I need to lock in.
Yeah.
Just not today, maybe tomorrow.
Focus. Well, who was on last week? The comic there, Circular.
Yeah. I wasn't there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
anything on Instagram though? 67% B, 37%.
33.
33%.
Yeah.
D.
So.
I'm with you with October 5th.
October 5th?
I am.
You got it.
Yeah.
Right? October 5th. And, you have to have a number of things come together to reach a temperature like that late in the year. First, the nighttime hours are greater than the daytime hours that time of the year. It has to be dry outside. You have to have a ripping southwest wind moving into western New York. It's bringing warm air in from somewhere else because we can't generate warm air up here that time of the year. And, if all the things come together like that, and the earliest is what we'll do tomorrow as a trivia question. Earliest 90-degree day of the year. We'll keep with that theme. What?
I mean, now people are going to look it up.
Well,
Don't look it up. Don't
look
cheat.
it up. Don't cheat.
Right? It's been a gradual warm-up, right? 3 straight days in the 90s, so we'll call it a heat wave. Today, so far, 78 degrees. So it's pretty close to where we were last couple of days, just a couple of degrees shy of that. The last time we were in the 70s was last Friday, in the upper 70s there. But here's a way you can cool off. Look at Ellie.
Look at that playing in the pool.
Come on,
That's
right?
Girl.
Had a couple of cute dogs outside today too. Maybe we'll use those pups for muddy paw picks the next couple of days. That'd be good, right?
Just water down the grass out there and make them run around.
We've got a hose. I mean, maybe Chris can grab the hose. I don't know. But I think we're in pretty good shape today. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just a small chance of a shower. But if we do catch one for Friday, could be a downpour there. And Thursday morning, we'll have to watch. There's going to be a window of time, maybe between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. That we could see a downpour move on through. We'll keep you posted on that. And speaking of cooling down with the hose, go up to Lake Ontario. The big lake is 58 degrees. Now that buoy temperature often is a little bit misleading because that's the water intake in Greece. It's offshore, about 35 feet under the lake surface, so the water down there is always a little cooler anyway. But beach temps are probably in the 60s. Partly sunny, west wind turning north this afternoon, 10 knots, waves a foot or less. So it's a pretty decent day to be up on the beach. 78 now, feels like 80 with that north wind at 6 miles per hour. We'll keep our eye on those spotty little showers off to the west. There's a chance that one or two of these could sneak on by to the south of Rochester as we go through the late morning and afternoon. But most of the time today should be dry with that front sitting just to our south. The futurecast today, you see that little shower pass on by tonight, stays dry. Nice little evening to sit outside. It will be a little bit cooler than it was the last couple of days. Watch this for Thursday morning. You know, like I said, between 8 and 10 a.m. You know, maybe when you were trying to do a garden segment outside.
Yeah. Pack the poncho, McLean.
Yeah.
You're going out there,
we're going
rain,
in.
shine, or thunder.
I'm turning it up to 11 tomorrow. I don't care. Futurecast says we'll see a little bit of sunshine through the afternoon. And then for Friday, again, as a warm front starts to approach the area, we'll have to watch for a shower there as well. But a good day to get out the clubs. Temps in the upper 70s, 10 o'clock, 83 at 1 o'clock this afternoon, 84 at 5 o'clock. So about, give or take, 8 or 10 degrees cooler at just about any point this afternoon compared to the last couple of days. We'll see numbers drop back into the low 60s tonight. Decent night for sleeping. Maybe give the AC a little bit of a break into Thursday. Mid 70s there. It'll be 82 for Friday. That chance for showers and thunder certainly is there even into Saturday. By early next week, you saw those temperatures heading on back up into the upper 80s again with more humidity. That tropical feel sticks around for western New York.
I'm glad you did that golf forecast because I'm going to put this out there, an open invitation for anybody looking for accompaniment on the golf course or maybe at their country club. I'm available.
The Dan Schrack.
I would love to join a country club.
Dan Schrack Invitational. Yes.
Ooh. Oh my God.
Maybe we
Who are
should
you
have
bringing?
a fundraiser for you.
Listen,
No reason, just a Dan Schrack fundraiser.
to join a country club. I was in a golf tournament once.
Okay.
My team won.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Oh, it was a scramble.
What's that mean?
Where whoever hits the ball the closest, you get to play that ball, right? Is that how it worked?
I think I was on a team with very good golfers, and I only played the first 2 holes.
I remember what happened.
Yeah, I might have had too much fun on the first 2 holes. And slept the rest of the 18 and the bus ride home.
Oh boy.
I do remember one incident once we got back to the clubhouse.
Here comes the TVMA rating.
Yeah, there was an incident. It involved some cleanup.
Oh my God. I wonder why you've never been invited back.
Younger days. Younger days.
This is the TV that everyone tunes in for.
The kind you need to mop up. Yeah. Goodness.
Nasty.
Nothing like that has ever happened to Abby, by the way.
No.
Never.
Of course not.
Please. Nope. Prim and proper? No.
A classy lady, what can I say?
Prim and proper Fridmann.
Take me to a golf course, I'm kicking butt. That's what I'm there to do.
We should
Dan Schrack Invitational.
Listen, we could come up with a golf team. Like I think we would do
golfers.
good if we put our forces together.
Yeah.
We've got lots of golfers.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'd be us
Hetzko's
against.
a big golfer.
Is he?
Yeah. Mike Catalana, of course.
Yeah.
He's a big golfer.
Yep.
Jenna Cottrell.
Sure.
Golfer.
Yep.
I don't know about Dan
Funny
Fates.
that the sports people would be golfers. Jenna also golfs a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. Maybe next spring. That's the idea.
Oh, I like it.
I like it.
Yeah. Cool.
Stick around. We've got a lot more to come right here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, we are taking a trip to space.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are, even in space. We're streaming live on the 13WAM YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. We're back after this.
They get internet on the ISS.
They certainly do.
Hey, welcome back. It's time for some space news. And this morning, we're going to be talking about last week's solstice as well as sunset.
Yeah, for more, we're joined now by our space ace, NASA correspondent, Tony Rice, joining us via Zoom. Tony, always good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me back.
This is something that we were just talking about during the commercial break. We'll start off with the summer solstice. Longest day of the year officially over.
It is, and officially the day was still 24 hours, but we refer to it as the longest day of the year by counting how many minutes the sun was above the horizon. And I looked it up for Rochester, and that was 15 hours, 22 minutes, 53 seconds. So if it felt like a long day, that was why.
Enjoyed every minute of it.
Absolute, every second of
it. Yeah, it was great. And there's also civil twilight, astronomical twilight, Tony, right? So, if you wanted to work outside or get something done, you still had enough light until almost an hour plus after sunset and an hour minus before sunrise, right?
That's right. And our atmosphere is actually playing some part here. The time that we see the sun above the horizon is actually more than it is physically above the horizon because of our atmosphere. It bends that light. So when you're seeing sunrise, you're actually seeing it before sunrise, and we see it a little bit after sunset. Our atmosphere is just absolutely fascinating, and every astronomer has to learn a lot about the atmospheric sciences just to be able to understand what they're looking through.
Absolutely. Tony, during the break, Mark was kind of giving us a brief of what we can expect to be speaking about. And one of the things that kind of piqued our interest was the distance of the Earth to the sun being further this time of year, but it also being hotter for us this time of year. And it's kind of a conundrum that a lot of people don't really understand. We get it during Earth science class that one time in 10th grade, and then we forget about it.
Yeah, especially this time of year when it is so very, very hot. Down here in North Carolina, I'm taking the dog out as soon as I hang up with you guys. Make sure we get that done before it gets really, really hot because we're in the middle of a heat wave. It wouldn't make sense that we would be at our closest point to the sun, and that's coming up next week. Just about a week from today, it's a point called aphelion. When we're going to be the farthest from the sun, I should say. Aphelion and perihelion are those 2 points, those extremes in the Earth's orbit around the sun. It's almost circular, but not quite. It's a little bit elongated, so sometimes it's going to be a little bit farther away, and sometimes it's going to be a little bit closer. And you can see it's a difference of about 4 million miles, which seems like a lot, but it really only comes down to about 4 or 5% of that overall distance to the sun. The heat that we feel and the temperatures that we feel down on the ground, very little of it has to do with the distance from the sun. That's more about the angle that the sun's light is coming in. So during these hot summer months, it's coming in at a very long angle and a very direct angle. So during that solstice, the sun was directly over the tropic that is the most northernmost tropic, and is coming in just pounding down there on Rochester.
Yeah, we get up to 70.3 degrees high in the sky on that day, Tony. That's the highest the sun gets in the sky here. Okay, so an interesting topic related to the solstice. The earliest sunrise that we have is actually back on June 14th in a note that you sent. And the latest sunset, we still have not had our latest sunset in Rochester. That's actually going to happen tomorrow in the evening. What? I know this is a little bit of a tricky topic, but can you explain your way through on something like that, kind of getting into the weeds a little bit?
Right. The best way to think about that is it's good that you look that up for your local area, because when I have this conversation with other meteorologists like you and I share those numbers, it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
It varies mostly by latitude. So there, I want to say, and I have to look up what your latitude is. But when I compare your numbers, your earliest and latest, yours was earliest was back on the 14th, and the latest is tomorrow. My friends down in Miami, looking at their numbers, their earliest sunrise was back on the 9th.
Wow.
And the latest sunset won't be until the 1st of July.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating that it shifts so much, but to me, it's even more fascinating how wide that spread can be. Your spread's just like 2 weeks. Their spread is even more. It's a function of, again, the angle of the sun and the terminator. That if you've ever seen pictures of the Earth taken out from a distance by the geosynchronous satellites, or astronauts have produced many of these, you see that line that's produced by this is day, this is night. That line's called the terminator, and that tilts throughout the year. It's at its greatest tilt on the solstice that we had, just last week, and then it lines up perfectly during the equinoxes. That tilt is what causes that vast difference between your earliest sunrise or sunset and say closer to the equator.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're 43.5 degrees north of the equator here, so we're slightly closer to the equator than we are the pole. But going back to St. Patrick's Day, I always like to use that day because that's the official day that Rochester starts seeing more visible day length than nighttime hours. But it's before the official start of spring. So I always call it the unofficial death of winter around here.
Yeah, we also have another word for that. It's called the equilux.
Equilux.
Yeah, that's the day closest to 12 hours of night and 12 hours of day.
That's interesting.
It is. It all is very interesting. Yeah. And I just want to go back to the point that we all learned a lot of this in earth science class, but I feel like you absorbed that information for the test. And then after the test, it's like, I don't get it, which is why I'm happy. Yeah, exactly. Unless you work in this field, or you're constantly submerging yourself in this kind of content, you miss out. So I'm glad we have Tony here for this.
Hey, Tony, one quick question, too, before we go. Do you know, by any chance, what the percentage difference in net radiation is between, when we get to July 3rd and it's, we're the farthest away from the sun versus being, closest to the sun in early January? Is there a percentage of radiation loss at the surface that we can really measure?
I'm sure there is. I don't know it off the top of my head. I'll have to look it up, but I'm reasonably sure it is negligible.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm reasonably sure you learned about it in earth science class, though, Tony. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, my friend. I'm kidding. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We greatly appreciate it.
Open invitation to come down and play some golf in North Carolina.
Oh, there.
Thank you.
That's where we're going to host
That's where we'll host the Dan Schrack Invitational. Thank you, sir.
When Good Day or Arc Rochester returns, that is, Steph will be here with some of our top political headlines.
Yeah, your political pulse coming up next.
It's time for a political pulse check here on ARC Rochester. We're breaking down some major races across our area and beyond after primary day. So here at home, incumbent Mayor Malik Evans secured his party's nomination. Evans was vying for a second term after being elected mayor in 2022. Last night, he earned that chance with nearly 60% of the vote. Public safety was a top priority of his campaign. Last night, he touted accomplishments in reducing the number of homicides and shootings in the city. Evans visibly emotional as he dedicated his win to other city children who also hope to lead.
This race was important because I wanted them to know that they too could aspire and one day be the mayor of Rochester if they so decided.
We do expect to hear more from Evans in about an hour as he moves on to the November general election. He was facing challenges from two other Democratic candidates, one of them, Councilmember Mary Lupien. She was runner-up with 33% of the vote.
It didn't go the way that we wanted, but I'm still excited with everything that we built, every voter that we talked to, every volunteer that we had, so many people that were new to the process, even new to voting, that were just really inspired to vote for change and vote for investing in people.
Lupien says she will continue to hold her council seat. The other challenger was businessman Shashi Sinha. While on the campaign trail, he said Rochester needed change. He proposed building more affordable housing units and providing economic opportunity. Sinha trailed behind Evans and Lupien, coming in last with 10% of the vote. But he says he's not going anywhere.
Unfortunately, I didn't win. It doesn't mean that I'm going away, because I'll continue to focus on those things and fight for people who are struggling in some way or form. I still have to figure out what's next. But one thing I can say for sure, I'm here to stay.
Turning now to Ontario County, all eyes are on the Republican race for district attorney. Current DA Jim Ritz appears to be falling short in his re-election bid. Unofficial results show Assistant County Attorney Jason McBride in the lead. He claimed an unofficial primary victory this morning. In a Facebook post, he said in part, quote, Republicans spoke loud and clear that they need a district attorney that is hardworking, respected by the entire criminal justice system, and who is committed to always doing the right thing for victims. There is still a long road to November. I will continue to earn the trust and support of all voters by listening and collaborating with those who want the best for our community. Meantime, Ritz is not conceding. In a statement around 11 last night, he said in part, quote, it is too early to concede the race, as we should wait for any standard review procedures by the Board of Elections, as well as additional absentee ballots to be received by mail in the coming days. Further downstate, an upset in the race for New York City mayor. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo lost to State Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani. Cuomo conceded last night, complimenting Mamdani's campaign and reach with young people. It would seem that he's not ruling out a run as an independent. Mamdani held a solid lead with about 44% of first-place votes, but neither candidate crossed the 50% mark required to win outright under the city's ranked choice voting system. Incumbent Mayor Eric Adams is running as an independent this November. And we have more primary election results, Rochester City Council and Board of Education. That's on 13wham.com. Be sure to stay with ARC Rochester for your top political headlines. We're back after this. back, and thanks for staying with us here on ARC Rochester. We are continuing our discussion this morning as the results come in from yesterday's primary election. In the race for Rochester City Mayor, Mayor Malik Evans is one step closer to a second term, locking in his spot on the November ballot. Our own Lowell Rose was with the incumbent mayor last night when he took the victory over Democratic challenger, City Council member Mary Lupian, and businessman Shashi Sinha. He joins us now with more. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
A late night, I'm sure, so thank you so much again for coming in. I do want to start with just the atmosphere. What was it like, everyone hearing the final results there?
Everyone was cheerful. You know, you could feel almost like a party atmosphere, but of course, you know, not too loose. But everyone was cheering, shouting, you know, shouting Malik 4 more years throughout the night as those results started coming in. There never appeared to be like a dull moment where people just didn't have hope he was winning, because as soon as the results started coming in, he had a sizable lead throughout the night. So it was pretty good as far as the supporters there for Malik.
Yeah, and there was a lot of support. We're seeing people dancing here. It was very packed in there from the images. Tell us a little bit about some of the guests that were there.
Yeah, so there were a lot of politicians there outside of Malik, his supporters there. Notably, Harry Bronson, Assemblymember Harry Bronson was there. He was one of the first people who spoke to kind of, as they say, warm up the opening for Malik Evans. And then also County Executive Adam Bello. Damon Meeks was there as well, but the two notable people, Adam Bello and Harry Bronson, were there to open it up. And they basically talked about when he first ran 4 years ago, when there were talks about him running when his name was getting in the ring in 2020. Ultimately, we know 4 years ago, almost to this exact date, he unseated former Mayor Lovely Warren. So it was an emotional night for him as he was walking in, as Adam Bello was giving the introduction to Malik Evans. You could see him out in the hallway. He was with his family. He was waiting. And then when they called him up, he was emotional, you know, walking up before he even gave his speech.
And it's one of those rare moments that you see in terms of reaction of sorts when it comes to a win like this. Can you tell us a little bit? We'll start with the speech itself. The moment he's sort of talking to people, you see him right there getting choked up. When it comes to him saying, you know, this win is for other city kids just like him.
Yeah, well, as you know, Malik Evans, he's a Rochester native. He grew up here in Rochester. And based off his speech, he wanted to give the message that, hey, little kids that are out there, little black boys that are out there, hey, it's possible that you can become mayor even if you grew up in the city, making it all the way up to where Malik has been. He's been on city council. Mm-hmm. He's been on the Rochester City School Board. So he's made his way up in the ranks of politics here in Rochester. And based off seeing him choked up last night on stage, it was almost like he, you know, a little shocked, but he was so thankful for what has happened. He did mention that, you know, the past 4 years have been rough for him. Notably, he did lose a staff member just a few months ago. So he mentioned that some of the people in his senior staff were no longer here with him on stage. He mentioned that his parents are usually there on the election night. They weren't here this year. So those were all the things it seemed to be emotional for him. The people who he loved and cared for weren't on stage with him last night. Although he had a sizable lead, he was still humbled. He was still thankful for the supporters and the voters that came out to support him yesterday.
That is for sure. And he did mention some of the current state of things. We know about the pending lawsuit with the Trump administration, something on the mind as well. And he talked about some of the statistics coming out of his administration specifically. Tell us a little bit about the tone behind that message.
Hearing the message last night, me as a journalist, I didn't realize it seemed that much as a fight for him, but he said, hey, this year has been a fight. Basically, the city of Rochester, medium-sized city, is fighting the federal government. And basically, when it comes to the Trump administration and immigration, of course, we had the controversial traffic stop with RPD and immigration officials, and there are several lawsuits based on the sanctuary city status of the city. So that was it appeared to be like his marching orders on why he felt like he deserved to be elected a second term. He mentioned that the city will continue to fight the administration on their sanctuary city policies and everything that they stand for. And that was a big part of his speech last night, along with his campaign. Those are just big things for him, fighting against the administration when it comes to immigration. Of course, he talked a lot about crime over the past 3.5 years that he's been in office, 4 years once we make it to November and January. He mentioned that crime has been on a reduction. Based on the statistics, shootings are down, homicides are down. So those are his major talking points, which he believes that he has accomplished over the past almost 4 years here in Rochester, and why he believes he deserved another chance, another term as mayor.
Yeah, and it's definitely a topic that when we were doing stories that came out in his profile before this very moment. So I'm sure it's something that we'll continue to follow heading into the November election. Anything else you wanted to add specifically about that night, the atmosphere, those who spoke, or anything like that?
Everyone, along with Malik being emotional, it seemed like that was kind of shared along the crowd. You know, when he had moments where he got choked up, you hear people shout, "Hey, 4 more years, you got it, Malik," whatever it might be. That support was still there. You know, looking at the numbers, he won by a few thousand votes, but the atmosphere in that crowd last night was strong for his supporters who are gun-ho for Malik Evans.
We definitely heard that in the sound that we played today, so that is for sure. Thank you so much, Lowell.
Thank you.
And stick around, we've got a lot more to come here on ARC Rochester. And don't forget that you can watch us on the go wherever you are by streaming us live on the 13 WHAM YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. We're back after this.
Welcome back. It's been a rough couple days for anyone looking to stay active with all of this hot weather. So we wanted to get a little advice on how to stay moving while also still being safe.
Yeah, we invited back one of our favorite guests of all time, Anita Spoor, the instructor of movement and music at Brickstone by St. John's. She works with residents there on movement. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming in, Anita. We really appreciate it.
I love being
here. You
here.
brought your bodyguard, and I see you've got PR and your whole team.
Yes, yes.
So let's dive right in. You're still teaching classes.
Still teaching class.
How frequently do you do those classes?
Once a week.
Once a week.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
And for somebody who's unfamiliar with what the music and movement classes look like, tell us what a typical day will look like.
Well, I begin it with lively get the moving kind of music, and then we do a whole segment with bands and weights and a ball. So I use those just to have something for them to relate to. For example, I show them how they can do things at home,
Yeah.
you know, and they can do just holding on water bottles with a certain amount of water so you can increase it to get more weight. If you're holding the ball, we would do this kind of thing over your head and open. You can just raise your feet, kick out, kick to the side, all of those things, just to move.
Anita, you're more flexible, I think, than I might be.
I'm like watching you do that. I'm like, oh, wow.
I got a couple of kinks that I need to work out.
Oh, my God.
I'll tell you what.
You got to come.
I do, but on top of teaching this class, you do this on a daily basis for yourself, just to keep yourself in shape. What does that routine look like for you?
Well, it's usually an aerobic.
Okay.
You know, if I don't do a couple of mile walk, I'll work out it.
Yeah, I'm like so impressed, Anita.
And then go on an elliptical. I have one at home. There's also one in our place. We have what is called the boathouse, and it has all the exercise equipment there, and I love going there every other day. So, you know, the point is that your health is your responsibility, and you have to be responsible for how you feel. It's not your doctor's concern, it's your concern. So every day you need to do something, and the more you stay active, the better you feel, and the more energy you have.
That's all the motivation anybody could need right there. But I imagine also that once you start doing it and you form that habit, you look forward to it every day.
I do.
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
Why is that?
It's just because it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
It's an emotional release. Lots of time when I'm stressed, that's exactly how I want to relieve some of that and think about something else.
And do you find that helps you throughout the course of the rest of the day? It makes even some of the big problems or challenges we face in the day that much easier because we've already got through the hard physical stuff. We can.
I said that the other day.
Did you?
I did. Yeah, I was talking about spin class.
Yeah.
I like to do it on Mondays because
like
that's
spin.
the hardest thing I'm going to have to do all week.
Yeah. And it's nice when you've accomplished something too.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that's over, you've done it, you feel better.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, Anita, I need to know what kind of music do we listen to in the music and movement class?
Well, I bring the music, and it's called Fit Music.
Oh.
And I use different CDs. I play them. And, you know, just upbeat.
Yeah.
Something that's 126 beats per minute, so, you know.
What can I ask what the favorite song is? What's the go-to, the one where you're thinking, where am I going to start today? And you go to this song.
No, I just let it go.
Oh, really?
Whatever comes up, yeah, we just do it.
I like it. Good way to live.
Getting the work
roll
done.
With it,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anita, for somebody that wants to come to one of your classes, can they?
Oh, absolutely.
How do they do that?
Well, they just come to Brickstone and come in the main area, and that's where my class is.
Boom. And you get it done. Do we need to register? Do we need to sign up or just show up?
Just show up.
Do we need to bring our own weights?
No, everything is there.
What day of the week and what time?
Monday at 11.
Monday at 11.
So you begin your week, and that's it.
Listen, something tells me the building is going to be bursting at the seams because people are going to show up, Anita. You're an impressive woman, and you lead the class, and I'm sure, what does the clientele say? What does everybody who takes the class say about it?
They like it. They think it's different than some of the other classes that are over there. And I think that's one of the elements I try to do. Something different that they haven't done in the other classes.
Very good.
I like it.
Anita, it's always a pleasure to have you in studio. Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much.
You're
Maybe
welcome.
we'll send Chris Lopez out to do a little workout with Anita one of these
We
days.
absolutely should. We'll have him come there for a Monday morning class.
That'd be fun.
Amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anita.
You're
we
welcome.
really appreciate
You're welcome.
When ARC Rochester returns, we're taking a look at some of the stories that are trending this Wednesday morning.
We're back on the other side of the break. 9:46 this morning. It's time to take a look at what is trending now, starting with surgery that may seem fake, but it is very much real.
Okay, so in the new rom-com movie Materialists, starring Dakota Johnson and Pedro Pascal, there's a certain plot point that has a lot of people online confused.
Yeah, the movie essentially includes a woman who falls for a man she describes as a unicorn or a perfect guy.
Okay, so he's good looking, he's rich, he's 6 feet tall, and spoiler alert, in the movie, the man revealed to her that he actually underwent a leg lengthening surgery so he could grow a few inches.
Nope. On social media, people had mixed reactions to this, some finding it bizarre, some finding it hilarious, others thinking it's so ridiculous it must be fake.
So after getting a lot of attention online, doctors who specialize in the procedure actually started to share how it's growing in popularity.
Yeah, if you remember, we've previously talked about height preference being a deal breaker for some singles, so many undergo this to be more desirable.
Limb lengthening gradually lengthens the bones in the arms or legs over the course of several months.
The surgery involves breaking the femur and or tibia, inserting rods, and turning the rods by up to 1 millimeter per day as new bone fills the gap. It sounds so comfortable.
The surgery can add up to 6 inches in height, though most patients gain 2 to 3 inches, which is the recommended lengthening.
Leg lengthening can sometimes cost more than $120,000, a bargain.
Okay, so for both arms and legs combined, you're looking at $250,000.
No.
I think it's so ridiculous. Come on.
Yeah, listen. Deal with the height you were given.
Yeah.
Like,
Why would you want to break your body so that you, I don't know, to me it just sounds so, like a lot of things could go wrong there.
Yeah. The femur is a bone you don't want to break.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know. So you would never do this.
I'm too tall already.
Fair enough. I wouldn't do this. Director Chris says, break yourself down to build yourself back up.
Wow.
I've got a confession.
What's your confession?
I'm only 5'7".
Mark says he's only naturally 5'7". Wow. Mark, when did you undergo the leg lengthening surgery?
It was to get on television.
He did it for a TV job.
Understood. You know, do a lot of things for the TV job.
Yeah, that was 25 years ago. He's still paying off that $120,000 loan.
Jeez.
Oh,
that's why you can sometimes see him shaking the vending machine, trying to get the stuck
cleaning the dust off the top.
Yeah,
all right, we'll move along to AI learning model, and it's learning emotion. And the emotion, malice.
One leading artificial intelligence developer recently conducted a study on their technology's development. Some of the findings were scary, to say the least.
Yeah, the research shows that those AI models would be willing to blackmail, leak sensitive information, and even let humans die if it means they'll avoid being replaced by new systems.
The developer tested 16 AIs, including ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, and DeepSeek.
The $60 billion company conducted these stress tests to see if any risky, unsanctioned, or morally inadvisable behaviors were detected.
In the experiment, AI was given control of an email account with access to all of a company's fictional emails.
Yeah, by reading all these emails, the model discovered 2 things. The company executive was having an affair, and that executive planned to shut down the AI system.
So then the AI attempted to blackmail the executive with a message threatening to reveal the affair to his wife and superiors if it was shut down.
The company was optimistic with these findings, identifying potential malicious behaviors to be reprogrammed and retrained.
Wild.
Yeah. Listen. That's why you're nice to AI.
Always nice to AI.
Please and thank you. I know it costs a lot in energy, but I think it's important. When the takeover happens, you're going to be glad you did.
Yeah, I'm always nice to mine.
All right.
I'm civil.
Are you?
Always.
Civil?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I think that's all you got to be.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. civil. Moving along, a Colorado ski resort is sharing some treasure they found while taking out their trash.
I wanted to do this for my off the top, but we didn't have pictures or video at the time. Okay, so now that it is post-season, employees at this resort found a staggering 780 pounds of trash underneath all of the snow.
They described some of their recoveries to be unhinged. They took to social media to share.
Along with an unsurprising assortment of lost ski poles and boots, the mountain maintenance team found some broken phones, glasses, AirPods, a spatula, a driver's license, and a Canadian $2 coin.
The most unique find was a message in a bottle. When they opened it, the note turned out to be an individual's old COVID-19 vaccination card.
Wow, okay. An iPod Nano was even found. Some crew members wondered if people just took items that they didn't want anymore to the mountain to lose forever. With the iPod Nano thing, I totally understand it though. When I would go skiing, I liked to listen to music too, but I never wanted to break my phone because I fell a lot. So I would, I didn't have my iPod back then. It was like packed way, way, way away. But I, would understand why you'd want to bring something old. But then if you lose it, like, you're out of luck.
Sure. Recently moved, and in the move, I discarded an iPod Shuffle from millennia ago.
Those were iconic. I loved those. I had the classic too, the big one.
Oh, yeah?
Big, beefy one. Oh my gosh. Actually, I still do have that one.
It's a collector's item at this point.
It is, yes. I'm
Send it-
sure it would still work.
Send it to a museum. I'm sure they'll put it on display. You never know.
A little money.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Stick around. When Arc Rochester returns, our final thoughts this Wednesday.
We're back after this. Go.
Is your mic back on?
I think it should be back on, but my IFB is dead.
Somebody was getting
Can you
ready
hear me?
to just end the show early.
She's
today.
excited to go out and see the garden.
That's gotta be what it is.
That's all it is.
Okay, so we're talking about
Yeah.
this because we're probably gonna see some rain tomorrow during that
of
span of
course.
time. My question is, are the plants going to be in the ground at that point?
Well, we still have to have the soil delivery, and that's probably going to be today. But whether or not there's time to, put that in, we'll probably maybe start doing that, maybe live on the air tomorrow. We'll see.
And you want to take a half day?
We'll see. Lots of stuff to do. Stacking up.
There
slowly.
is lots of stuff to do here on the job.
Tell me
All
about
I'm
it.
saying. All I'm saying.
Tell
All
me
right,
about it.
best bits for a Wednesday.
I love Anita. I think she's the coolest.
She's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's like
Yep.
seriously what I aspire to be when I'm however old she is.
I know. I just think it's incredible that, well, in the juxtaposition from someone who stays active and wants to keep on pushing forward and power through, and somebody who kind of throws their hands up and says, oh, I'll never.
Just give me some music, and it has to be, what'd she say, 126 BPM?
120, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Listen, she knows what she's doing. Join the
Spotify-
class if you can.
Yeah, Spotify has great playlists.
They
too.
do.
If you type in, I usually do 150 if I'm like running. That's a good 150 BPM. Yeah. They have all these great songs.
Look into it. That does it for us here on ARC Rochester. Wake up with us again tomorrow morning starting at 4:57 on
13 WHAM ABC. Much more live local news coming up later today with Steph and Mark for 13 WHAM News at midday.
Bye.